Kirk, your apple trees have already gone by, right?
Yeah. They had a great bloom this year down in DC.
Terrific. Good. Because they're just in bloom up here. It's spectacular.
Wow, that was a while ago. That was about a month. It was.
Virginia.
We're small but short.
Okay. All right. Today we have an exuberant apple tree with sort of branches going everywhere, a little bit off center as they often are. And right now in the Northeast, the apple trees are just spectacular right now. So you can go down any block in Pauling and find something just this color or in the same kind of bloom. And some of them are a little darker red, some of them get into the purples, but they're lovely. But it's a challenge. The trick is to keep the color clean, not let the darks overwhelm. All right, so and we're going to have some very sharp edges, like on the buildings, but then some very irregular edges in the natural forms, which is usually the case. And my sketch here shows the tree is one of the lightest next to the sky. That dark pine tree is one of my darkest. Obviously, the window holes are dark. The grass is going to be a mid-tone. I've considered putting a guy with a grill in that breezeway, but I think I don't think I'm going to get into that. What I will do is I'm going to bring the line of the hillside behind a little bit lower, so that right in here, so that green is not just this square of lawn back there, but I'll pretend like the trees behind go down to about this line. So I've put that in there. Okay, I've added a shadow. Yeah, you see there's a shadow here, and there's also some shadows in here. So the house is not totally white. And of course, a lot of interesting greens fussing around up here. All right, let's get started. Phil, you ready? Or you are recording, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, like I've done in the past, I'm going to start with water in the sky area, and I'm going to dump some blues in there. I'm going to go right into some of the trees. I'm not going into the apple tree at all, my water. And this, I'm not even going to take the sky blue too far down, as I sometimes do. And the light is coming from left to right, so that the apple tree on the left side is going to be a little bit brighter, and a few other places over here, but the light's coming this way, so the shadows you'll see go from left toward right across that driveway. Okay. I'm also going to throw a little bit of water down on the driveway too. I see the driveway, even though we know it's black, it really reflects the sky, so it's not too far off from the sky. Okay, as we've done before, I like to have a little blush of another color. I'm going to get a little bit of aureolin and just throw it up in there. I'm going to break up will be the blue. I may get some nice mixtures. Let's get a little more aureolin in there. Okay. All right, and now we'll get into the blues. Pretty good. Since the paper's already wet, this cerulean is going on pretty strong here, and I know it's going to.
Ned, you usually use a big round brush. I see you're using a square brush this time.
Yeah, I just forgot to change it. Sometimes you can challenge yourself to paint a whole painting just with the flat brushes, like these kinds of brushes instead of the round. But I'm going to add a little bit. Oops. I'm going to add a little bit of cobalt into this blue. Okay, maybe Steve, I'm gonna put a little bit of this blue where I'm seeing through up there. Okay, and a little bit more blue here. Again, and I'm gonna take this color and I'm just gonna fade it out. Just putting water on the paper so it fades out. I don't want a harsh line anywhere. So just fade that out. Okay. Now I did say I was going to put a little driveway area here, so I'm adding a little alizarin. Oops. And so, oops, there we go. Now here's my driveway. All right, let's see how we do there. All right. That's only took like 3 minutes. So now, just watch me. I'm just going to do a little bit of the grasses, and then I'll stop. All right. I'm going to put water in the grass area. I'm going to have some green back here. Judy's not watching. Darn it. She's in the back row. She's goofing around. Where'd you? Okay, here we go. I'm going to go around those steps.
She's letting her ears tell you where the grass is.
Yeah.
Grass is good.
Green is good.
What color is that?
It's just water, but it's got a little whatever is still left on the brush. Okay, so a little aureolin. I really like a little aureolin and cerulean to create. I like it as a nice color for the lawn. Here we go. Let's get a little bit more strength in it. I hope not to have to come back in and paint the lawn a second time. So I'm trying to make sure I have enough color in here that it's not gonna. It will dry lighter. So okay, I'm gonna do these little sort of Christmas tree bushes. And put a little bit lighter up in here. Okay, and and while I'm at it, I'm going to get some of this area under here. I'm leaving a little bit of a white line there for the step. Right here in the breezeway. But otherwise, I've painted all that, and that's good. So let me pause right there and let you guys catch up to me. Flood the paper with water in various places, and then throw in the yellows and the blues. I'm actually adding a little bit of new gamboge and ultramarine to this. I think this is looking already too pale, so just strengthening that lawn. Okay.
New gamboge and what?
I put ultramarine to strengthen that lawn a little bit.
Okay.
But the lawn in the back here is still a fairly pale one. I got some pale colors over here too. I was having dreams last night of painting these apple blossoms and how to do it. I was like, oh my gosh, why am I worrying about it?
Yeah.
Why am I worrying about this in the middle of the night? You know?
How am I gonna do that?
Right, and then Ellen came into the picture.
Each apple blossom.
Each one, every single one. Uh-oh, what's this? When you're doing your sky, go right up to what you see as the edges of your tree, because we're going to make the pink overlap the blue sky or the green a little bit. All right, I'm ready to start on the next step, and that'll be my second lightest colors. I see the roof of this little garden house or garage as being fairly light. I want to knock that off while I'm thinking about it. Little alizarin, a little blue, ultramarine. Again, it's reflecting sky. It's fairly light. Ooh, look at that red got caught in there. Okay, I'll let that happen. Just let it go. Boom. And I'll throw it the same color onto the roof of the breezeway. I'm going to go around my apple tree blossom. So I want to make sure I keep a little piece of white trim along there. Okay. I think I'm just sort of delaying because I don't want to start those apple blossoms. That's the whole. that's the main thing, right? So I'm going to use fairly largest brush. It's not the largest one I have, but I've got a lot of area to cover, and I don't think I want to flood it all with water because I'm going to want some sharp edges, at least on the edges. So a little bit of rose, permanent rose. I'm going to keep the alizarin crimson a little bit. If you're looking at my palette, I've got a little bit of that going. Okay, let me just see how this looks. Okay, I'm going to start wrapping here. Okay, boom, boom, okay. Now I am going to let this go right off the page. And what I want to watch is that the edges, the branches have this irregular, and I'm overlapping the blue by a little bit, and I'm making the branches raggedy edged. I'm leaving this a little bit of a sky color up there, as though you can see through, and just keeping it fairly irregular. And on this side, I'm going to add a little bit more alizarin to get this side a little bit stronger color. Got a lot of water on that brush here. Yeah, careful the amount of water you have. If you put too much, this thing will never dry. But you know, it's really. Whew. Right down. I'm overlapping whatever blue I have out there. I'm going right down into the house. I'm overlapping whatever will be windows and dormers. Wow, jeepers. Yeah, you're gonna watch. Got that little piece of sky hole. I kind of like it there. Come on. Now I'm starting to lose. Dot. In big areas. Whew, come on, let's go. Let's get this permanent. Go right in through here. Whew. Right in through those dark areas. Now you see in the picture where there's some dark areas within the apple tree. Because right now the whole thing is sort of one tone. I'm going around that dormer window. There's going to be one beautiful branch coming all the way out here and coming down into the, purposely overlapping some of the lines of the architecture so that keep this feeling of freedom. Okay, now there's pink everywhere. Now I'm going to take the alizarin and I'm going to, in a few areas, I'm going to drop just breaking up the spaces. I'm thinking of putting the alizarin on the bottom edges of the branch, thinking that the bottoms of the branch have a little bit less light hitting them, and so they might be a slightly darker red. Light's coming from this side, so I'll put the right side of these. Again, I'm just trying to create a little two-tone look in this apple tree, otherwise it's going to look very flat. Now up in here, I'll make these little, yeah, good. Now, there are some dark areas. I'm adding a little bit of cerulean blue. Come on. To my permanent rose. And I see a patch up in here that's sort of dark. And I'm just looking at the photograph to get, that's where and then under here, it's sort of dark. And the edges are very soft. I'm hitting wet paper So I'm getting these sort of blooms and it's not bothering me, or I'm not letting it bother me. Okay, I'm going to use that cerulean in a few other places. Sort of up near that sky piece, I'm going to say, okay, there's some dark blossoms right near it. And then okay. If you squint, you'll see that there are shapes to these clumps of apple blossoms, and they seem to be like, like a bad wig, roundy at the top and then really ragged down the bottom. So I'm sort of making a few. Wow. Just want to make sure I keep a lot of edges that have this sort of dotted look.
Ned, I've been using ultramarine for the sky. Would
Okay.
you switch to cerulean
No,
for the tree or stick with ultramarine?
you could do either. You could do either. I sometimes think ultramarine can sometimes get almost too dark too quickly, whereas the cerulean is a little bit softer. This is really tough because now I'm really just trying, wherever I see some very sharp edges, I'm trying to loosen them up, or by adding a little more color, another tone. This is really wet up there. Wow, I can't do much there. Wow. Whew. This area I have way too much color in here. The water, I mean. All right, I'm gonna pause right there. I've got a lot of hanging drips that I may want to soak up, because when they go right down to the tip, you get this like water droplet down there. And I'm gonna let that.
Were you sticking a little bit of blue something or other in with that alizarin?
I did take a little bit of cerulean blue. Yeah. Whew. Wow. Take a deep breath. Okay, you're painting. I have a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah, did you wet the tree first?
No, I did. No, I did not. I think I would have I wouldn't have been able to get these little dits and dashes in there if it was all soaking wet.
You didn't do any gray
No, I'll wait, because if I do a branch now in the tree, it's gonna get,
Yeah.
it's not gonna hold its shape. That'll come later.
So the right side of that tree is lighter than the left side?
Well, the light's coming from the left, but in the photograph, some of those pieces over here are a little bit darker, so
Really?
The light's coming from about
yeah.
this angle where my
Yeah,
hand is,
it's close to,
right? So that's where the shadows.
yeah. Yeah, but oh, you have those trees overhanging on the left side that are actually giving the shadow.
They're giving a little bit of shadow onto the apple tree, but I don't really,
Dark on this.
yeah, I don't, yeah.
I see later on these. Well, actually, it's almost like gray in the inside.
I know. And I don't want to get that middle, the dark parts of the apple tree too dark, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you do with the roof of the house?
Well, that's going to be a little bit dark down here in this corner. It's going to be
Yeah.
darker than the apple blossoms,
Or just a
right? It is darker, right? So I want to get these apple blossoms to dry before I paint the roof in behind it.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Can you just reiterate the tree, because I'm just starting. Was it alizarin? Different shades of alizarin?
I have a permanent rose, which is what I use, but I also have some alizarin with it.
Would rose madder be a good one?
That's kind of brownish, I think.
Actually, I don't even have a
You know anybody who wants to rent a doctor's office 3 days a week? He's moving his practice.
Where is he moving?
Well, I forget, somewhere south of here, but he'll be up here 2 days a week.
Oh.
And so he's looking
Do you
to-
know anything about him? Is he good?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's very,
He gets good reviews.
yeah, he does. And he's very accommodating. You got these construction workers come in at 7:30 in the morning to get
Yeah.
a little tweak before they leave
Oh, that's
for work. And, you
Yeah,
know,
that's a real doctor.
Yeah, he's very nice. But he says processing paperwork and stuff is so tedious.
Yeah.
He's joining a group where they have
Oh,
a
like
staff that will
secretary?
do all that insurance
Yeah.
stuff.
Does he even have a secretary?
He does, but she's very part-time, and I think she's ready to retire or something, so
Yeah.
he doesn't want to train a new one. What's that? What's that? Oh, good. Just let it. That's nice. Yeah, don't fuss. You got a lot of nice little flicks and irregular edges all over the place. So it's terrific.
Well, the one on me that you picked up too, these branches are going, they're not rounded, they're drooping.
Yeah, almost like a willow tree. Yeah, yeah.
I don't like my green hair at all.
Well, then, yeah, wait. So what do you like it? You don't like it because it's too light or too
Yeah,
dark?
it's too bright, I'll play with it.
What do you mean too bright?
It's too bright.
She doesn't like it.
Light or dark? If you were to fix it, would you make it lighter or darker?
I try to give more irregularity into the.
Okay, so remember,
A little darker in
we're
here.
gonna be putting some shadows in here.
Oh, okay.
So, you
that
know,
might kill it.
don't,
Okay.
I wouldn't fuss with it too much.
And this can be a lot darker.
You know, we're gonna get into that, for sure.
I know you left that little shack out of there.
Let her fuss
Why
with
is
it.
it so dark over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Don't know.
What's that?
Dan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get purple in the roof over here.
You got it, that's a good color. Yeah. And it'll probably, that color, or maybe you wanna make this color gonna be a little bit darker in here,
Maybe, yeah.
right there.
Yeah, it's an edge.
So we have to go between all these
Great.
blossoms. But then leave
Wondering how you would do that.
the white around those dormers, cause they're kind of fun to see.
There you go.
Now keep that little blue patch, Bill. that you
Yeah,
put in.
I just have to
Make
put it in there.
Make it irregular.
Oh,
So it doesn't look like a lima bean or something.
you don't like lima bean?
I do. Well, now get your sponge out.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
You had that was pretty good. So I would take that,
Wet it?
you figured it out. No, wet it. You take it dry like this, put it in your color and just see what happens.
Yeah, this was right?
You got enough color on it?
No, I think you need a little.
I think you wanna get a little more.
How's that?
And you don't want it too watery, you want it dry, the way you did it, you know?
Right, it was the first one of mixing the color that came out. So
Yeah. And this is now, you know, you might wanna let that dry a little bit. Because if you put it on now,
to display.
I mean, you can try one area, but I would, that worked so well for you.
Was it?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I noticed you left a tree out that went all the way up the left side. There's a lot
Well-
of it.
No, it'll be in there.
You think it'll be back?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I want something pretty, because that's pretty dark over on that left side, and that's what makes the tree, that'll make the tree stand out, right?
Pop out, yeah.
So I'm getting ready to do the next step.
Okay.
So, you know, again, painting light to dark. This is pretty dark, so I'm not going to get into this right now. I do want to get this roof is going to be darker than the tree, but it's not going to be darker than the forest. I also want to start getting some of the shadows on the house, because the house isn't white. It's not a big billboard. It's got a lot of shadows within it. So let's start with that little bit of roof, and the roof is going to be a little bit darker than this roof over here. Let's see what color. All right, and we're going to have to paint around all these lovely little blossoms we made. So I'm going to take
Count
a
them.
little alizarin and
We made blossoms.
ultramarine. Oh boy, I don't want to get it looking too blue, but okay. Here we go. Okay, putting it down. Oh, let's get it darker. I'm going to do my sharp edge first. Watch me do this. Do that sharp edge, pull it right along, and pick it up. Get that edge nice and sharp. Come across. Okay, now I'm going to take this color. I'm going to go up into the blossoms a little bit. I'm leaving that dormer alone, leaving a little bit of white there. And I'm going around all these crabapple blossoms. Okay, come on, let's go. The sharp edge of the window, and then the raggedy edge around the crabapple.
Where is this place, up in Vermont?
Yeah, it's sort of across the street from our house. That's why we've painted it a couple times.
Let me guess. They like to put an American flag in the breezeway.
That's right.
No kidding.
You remember that, huh?
I have a crazy question. Do you have to ask them before you take the pictures? Or
No, I'm actually in the driveway across the street when I'm I've painted this, and I just stand in the driveway across, and then sometimes they'll see me painting. They know what I'm up to.
You never know these days. People
Oh gosh,
touch
no
you.
kidding.
Get out of my driveway.
You don't want to live in those neighborhoods.
Now over here, the roof seems a little bit lighter. Seems like there's a little bit more sunlight hitting it, so I'm not going to hit that quite as dark, but it still needs to be darker than the apple blossoms. So, oh good lord, what the hell is up there? There's another roof over here. Okay. All right. Now, which is darker, the roof here at the corner or the shadow on the White House? I think the roof is darker. So I'm gonna take a look now. I'm just about to do something fancy here. I'm gonna make a shadow going right down diagonally toward that red door. This is the shadow on the house from the trees on the left. And I'm going to go around my stairs because I see them as having some sunlight on them. I'm going to go right down to the grass. And I'm going to take that shadow, take a look, watch me now. I'm going to take that shadow and right under the roof line, right under that drip line is going to be a line there because there's a shadow underneath that eave. Put a shadow on the side of that there.
Like there is with all these.
Yep. And there. And what am I doing now? Okay. Now I'm going to take a little. Where's my little brush? And I'm going to take that shadow and I'm going to just. I'm going to draw a few little lines of the clapboards with one of my smaller brushes.
And you're gonna do 3 and Ellen's gonna do 7.
Oh, yeah. I'm taking that color right from the shadow that I've just put in. I'm going across. Here we go. I'll cross all the way to here. There's another one in there. And it's fairly light. I don't want to get this, I don't want these to jump out at us, but it gives some texture to that white house. And then there is an irregular shadow that comes down from that house. It is the shadow of the apple tree on the house, so it's going to have these same apple blossom shapes coming down. So I've got that. You see that? Boom, boom. So a couple of these diagonal lines here, shadow lines coming down. And then a few more. Here's this screened in porch, and it too has some clapboards. How are we doing? Pretty good? Good place to stop. Okay, I'll pause right there. Oh, I know, I'm gonna do a little bit of the color underneath the breezeway, and then I'll stop. This will be a little bit darker here. I'm gonna leave that drip line. Leave that. I think I gotta get it darker. It's got to be darker than the roof here. And while I have that color, I'm going to pull it down to become the posts. Okay, indicate a little bit of the railing in there, and I'll stop there. Maybe a little bit, nope, same thing over here. I'm just putting in the clapboards on the little garage or garden house. We'll do shutters and windows later, but there we go. So I've got some hints of architectural details there and some shadows on the building. Yeah, we should be about halfway done with glass. Good, perfect time. And Steve, when you look at those clouds, is the gray lighter or darker than the blue patches?
Dark.
Pretty
Oh,
close.
It depends on where. Yeah, I'm over here, and the blue looks, if I did a black and white picture, the blue is darker than the gray.
Yeah.
But then, Steve, over these buildings,
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah,
dark.
right, it's a different, it changes, yeah.
Yeah, the clouds are amazing.
Depends on what it's up against, I guess.
Yeah, it does.
Great sky, look at that, wow.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to start in. If you have a chance, it might be good to, this would be a good chance to change your water, because the water probably has a lot of red in it, and we're about to use green, and green is the opposite of red, so you don't want those conflicting. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I have a little hint of a mountain up here, so I'm gonna put that in next, and then I'll get into this green tree, get over to this eventually, but I'm going to get this little hint of a mountain. And according to America the Beautiful, it's Purple Mountain's Majesty. So
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of a
Until further
lizard.
notice.
Throwing that Purple Mountain in right up here,
Here's the purple mountains.
right there.
Sneaky wiki.
Sneaky, huh? And now I'm taking a little bit of water and just pushing it around so I don't have that hard edge. Because I don't want, you know what I mean? I don't want that hard edge. So you got that mountain there with a little purple happening to come through. Pretty cool. Pretty good, huh? Okay, now I'm going to take. Now I got to stay away from that area for now, because so I'm going to work on this tree. This is going to be.
About my purple.
What's that? So I'm going to use new gamboge. Oh boy, you guys all did the green exercises last night, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to use the new gamboge and ultramarine, and I'm gonna, this tree doesn't have quite the edges, the irregular edges as the whatchamacallit, the crabapple, but it does have some. There are a few sky holes in here, so maybe I'll leave a few. Like that. I'm going right up to the edges of the crabapple. In fact, when I'm real close there, I'm going to do a little very dark. Okay, let's get some more blue. More. Okay, now I'm going to pull this down. This side of the tree a little bit darker perhaps than the right side, left side of the tree, not by much. Now I'm going in and I'm cutting cutting in around these apple blossoms. The apple blossoms will look brighter once you get a dark color around them. All right. This,
Where are you going? Wow.
you know, Judy, I think it looks darker on the screen that you're looking at, but
Yeah,
right,
it
Bill?
must be darker on the screen.
I mean, you can come over here if you want. I'm just dancing away here.
I know.
And it dries a little bit lighter too, right?
It dries lighter too, so you know, something like this tree. I don't want to do this tree twice. You know, like ugh.
It's all right.
Okay, so there's that. I like going into the apple blossoms by a little bit like that. Okay. Now, the tops of the apple blossoms I see is a little more, little less edgy. Okay, there's that. A little bit of green underneath here. Go around that house, roof of the house, down here. Make a couple of lines there. Okay, so I got that kind of in. Now I'm going to go, this should be a little bit dry. I'm going to use Aureolin and Cerulean to do a different tree, a different kind of tree.
A different green.
A different green, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. I might even throw a little bit of, no, I won't. I was gonna say it.
I like the way you did those little trees at the end of that video too, the green video. That was cool.
What, the scraping out or what?
Those little, at the bottom, you did the little actual trees on the.
Oh, yeah.
Video, that was cool.
Now, as I come down, now if you look at the picture, the trees, between the trees, I gotta finish this off here. Between the trees, you're gonna have there's some darks. Oh, damn it. Fussed. Ugh. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little raw sienna, a little alizarin crimson. Oops, there's that blue. And right down in here, I'm gonna drop some, just to sort of differentiate one tree from another. A little bit of darks in there. And at the bottoms, it's definitely darker near the bottoms. And
What colors did you use for that? Alizarin crimson?
I got a little bit of alizarin crimson in there with the cerulean and raw sienna I put in there. Okay, now I'm gonna let that set up. I'm gonna scratch that in a minute. Now this tree here, the pine tree, raw sienna and ultramarine blue. So here's a third combination of greens. Raw sienna, so I'll get the yellowy color first. Boom, boom. And I'm just flicking that out like this. And then get the raw sienna, and then dip a little bit of blue into it. See how I just put it in there, and I just. So now this tree is darker than the ones around it, so it's creating the shape of the two trees on either side of it. See that? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now what's this like?
Wet.
Okay, a scrape line here.
Ned trick.
I don't know if that's good. I'm using the back of my brush to.
But you can use your fingernails.
You can use your fingernails, yeah. Yep. Okay, so that's that one. I got a couple little white speckles there that I don't want. And then over on the other side. Okay, with this other side, I'm gonna use even a bigger brush. Oof. What do we see this as? These are dark, right? Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of new gamboge. It's got some greens in there. Okay, let's see. And
Good morning, folks.
hey, Rob.
You guys want donuts, coffee? Donuts and coffee?
No, we're
Want
good.
anything?
We're
No,
good.
no,
We're
no,
good. Watch out! There's a painting on the sidewalk out there. It needs to dry.
Oh, for my shoes?
Yeah, don't put your shoe in it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, I see.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is I've left a little bit of yellow showing through. I've got cerulean blue in here and new gamboge. And this is where I need to slightly smaller brush because I do need to. Again, I gotta go up against these.
What yellow was that? Was that raw sienna?
This is I got.
The yellowish?
That's the new gamboge.
Oh, new gamboge, you know, cut that one.
Oops, wow, I went crazy there.
Tuscan yellow or something, that's pretty close.
Okay. Okay, keep this on the dark-ish side now. I got a little problem here. We got what's happening? What's going to happen? I'm going to get down near the bottom, and I do have some light tones down there, right? So I like that because I like the light, but I need to finish this off. These are the crab apples coming down like this. Okay, let's get a little more blue in there. We'll get a little darker. A little alizarin. Anytime you want to get green darker, just grab some alizarin. That will darken it up. Okay, now I do want. I'm not putting in that little garden shed there, but I do want a sense of. Of some light hitting that back part of the lawn.
The back nine.
But I don't know if I want that. Okay, I didn't want that sharp line. Okay, now that I'm down here, I'm going to get into these little. I don't know why in the picture they put one on the corner over here and then one right next to the front door. Like, why wouldn't you have them balanced?
Yeah.
Not my house,
Drew it, yeah,
right?
the front door.
Maybe they had 4 of them one time.
That could be. That could be.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the dog mistakes it for a
Dog
lamp.
peed on it.
You know, there is one behind the trunk of the tree.
Oh, is there? Okay. Yep. Good for you.
If you
All right.
look at it,
Yep.
you can actually see it.
All right.
What's handy?
See?
I've ended up leaving that out, so that's my mistake. While I'm down here, I'm going to take a little line here. I'm going to put a couple of these little bushes. They're kind of dark and they're kind of, but they kind of give me the bottom edge of the house. Along here, a couple little flicks up. I don't know what they are. They're not in bloom yet.
Mm-hmm. They don't have any kids, so there's no toys.
No toys, no nothing.
Or
There's
good
that.
models.
I can probably do the same over here. Few little. I think those are going to be zinnias later on, but not yet. All right, now, how are we doing here? I'm checking my, okay, and I'm gonna put a few, Am I gonna do some scratches on this side too? Okay, let that sit. I may draw in some branches in here, but I don't want to, I don't wanna do it, it's too wet, it's too wet. I
You're
gotta-
gonna put grass in that little light spot, or is
I don't know
it-
what I wanna do with that light spot, it's too bright, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't know whether it was like the grass.
Yeah, it's the grass in the background, but I see it as very light, so I'm gonna put another tone over it, take some of it out. Okay,
Oh, see, that was.
better, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and also I told you I was gonna take this color down and put it
Oh, so
coming
it's
down
along
into the
base of
wall.
trees?
Yeah, so this is where the base of the trees are on this lawn here.
Any bears in the neighborhood?
Yeah, there are.
They have a bear in their neighborhood.
Yeah, we have them. Yeah.
Up over around.
Okay, I'll stop there. We've got greens on both sides to do,
Well,
Yeah.
South-
so you
Lots
got
of green.
you got plenty to keep you busy.
South Quaker, we've got a bear that roams there all the time. Alright, that's a good trick.
Whew. All right, so we have about half hour left. We just have the details in some darks to do. I'm going to, this dormer over here bothers me. It's a little too bright, so I'm going to take it down a notch and then let it dry. I just think it's too bright over there. Oops. Just took the white off of it. This one I'm going to put a little white something across it. Okay, I didn't want those dormers to stand out too much. All right, so now we're going to go into the window holes, the front door, the shutters. Okay, so I'm gonna grab that front door, a little bit of Windsor red, a little alizarin crimson. Nice, bright, welcoming red door.
A Methodist church ready.
Right. Okay, and I'm leaving a little bit of white right down at the bottom. I'm going to paint the steps a raw sienna. I see that as a, and I'm just going to paint the whole damn thing, and I'll put the shadows into it later. So that whole block is getting that raw sienna. Okay, I'm leaving that. Okay, now let's try some windows. Let's, what do we see these as? They're green, so a little bit of, I told you we were mixing greens this week, right? The garden shed over here. New gamboge and cerulean. I'm going to do the top half of this one, but then the bottom half is going to be darker. Okay, so the darker greens on the shutters, I'm going to put raw sienna, which is my dark yellow, and ultramarine blue. So here we go. Come on, let's get a little more raw sienna there. These shutters are dark. And this one is darker at the bottom. Oops. I like it a little bit lighter at the top because it's in sunlight. Okay, I gotta figure out where my shutters are here. There's one here. I'm gonna go right through those tree trunks. I'll be painting tree trunks through the shutter colors. Okay, now I'm going to take, inside the windows, I'm going to take a little bit of ultramarine and alizarin crimson, nice staining color. And we'll see how that looks. I used raw sienna and ultramarine. My dark yellow and my dark blue. Okay, so here we go, a little window here, window there. The screen window I see is a little bit lighter. It's screen, it's not glass, so it's a little, for some reason, it comes off a little bit lighter. That little screened in porch. Okay. That's okay. It's nice when you have to remix it because then the color is slightly different.
Unless you can't get it to me.
Oh, you can get it. You can get it back.
Practice, practice, practice.
It's like, hopefully it's bad.
No, you get up at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep and you come down.
Well, that's
Mixed
exactly
color.
what we both said.
We both said we would.
Okay. Okay, and then a little bit of window in there. There's a window behind that apple tree branch.
Does this thing give off apples?
Well, they're crab apples.
Yeah, I thought it was
So they're not- they're
Do
not-
they crab apple jam?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
I said, do they?
Oh, I don't know. I got my own crab apples. I don't have to worry about getting them from somebody else. Okay, so now on the inside of the red door, I'm going to take a little bit of red with blue, and I'm going to just paint a shadow line right there because the sun's coming from that side. It has a couple of windows up near the top, so I'm putting them in. And now, since my steps have dried,
Otherwise known as transom windows.
transom windows, right? And I'm going to paint the side of this stepping thing. Boom. Boom. Just keeping a little bit of light there so that you can walk on it. Now what do we need to do? Okay, and now the trunks of the trees, and then I'll stop and we'll do one last thing at the end, but I'm going to, trunks of the trees. These are some of the darkest things I have. So I'm going to start with ultramarine blue. Let's start again. But some of the trees aren't, parts of the trees aren't that dark, are they? Look at them in the sunlight. So I'm going to get a little bit of yellow ochre and start that up here. But in most places, I'm using ultramarine blue and Windsor red. And these branches really, they turn off at very sharp angles. Where's another one? This one goes up, goes down this way. Come on, blue, red. And you will see the branches more often in your darker areas of the inside the tree than they don't cover the lightest areas. Okay, I'm gonna pause there. We have just the shadows of on the lawn to do, and then I'm gonna put a little Chinese white with red or pink, and bring out some whites in the tree where in some ways it got a little too dark. So let's get those tree windows, shutters, screens, little details, and then if you want to start with the trunks of the tree, that's great.
Okay, good.
So you see how the trunk is a little bit light at the bottom, the tree trunk of the apple tree?
Yes.
So you want a light tone. I used a little raw sienna, but looks too yellowy to me.
Raw sienna, I have it. Raw sienna. Sienna.
You can almost find yourself doing sculpture with the paintbrush.
Yeah,
On what? What do you mean?
that's how I,
You know,
with the tree
somehow,
branches.
Oh, with the branches or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it's like,
or with anything. You know, it starts by you think you're sapping up water, and then it all of a sudden becomes white. And you go, slippery slope.
All right, I'm going to do a little. The shadows, I think, aren't going to be too tricky. You've done them before. I'm going to do a little bit of touching up with some Chinese white, and I'm going to get the pink,
There you go with the shadows.
with the what is that called? The permanent rose, because I like the lights that are over here, and some of here I lost some of it. So I'm going to take this and on the top parts of some of these branches, I'm going to build your Chinese white is student grade. Ugh. I'm going to try to get back some of the lights on that apple tree. A little bit right down here. Let's go. There we go. Oop.
Isn't that stuff fun?
Yeah, I'm sort of coming back, and then up here I feel like I lost some, and I want to make these sort of canopy-like shapes. Bring that white back up in here, get a little bit more white or pinks up here. And it's almost dry brush. I just feel like the tree right at this cloud's edge should be really light. So I'm just using the white, Chinese white with a little bit of that.
Oh, they have the Japanese section of the Brooklyn Botanic Garden is probably exploding by now.
Oh, I'll bet.
Uh-oh.
Got a little warning sign up.
So the purists would turn their nose up at this, but if you look at,
I was using white.
yeah, because you're adding the white, but then if you look at Winslow Homer, he would use white to make the waves on a canoe going down in the rapids. And you look at it and you go, holy smokes, he's got white paint in there. And John Singer Sargent would use it. So it's it's been used by the masters. You can also take I don't have one with me right now, a knife and scrape out some whites, but that would be from some little details. So I'm gonna put a little bit more, a little white up in here. Especially areas where I might have some edges that I'm not happy with.
They look like something that's dripped onto my paper.
The coffee, right?
Yeah, I missed a couple of them, now I'm trying to. How do I cover them? Oh, now the tree doesn't look very.
Ooh, look at that.
What's that?
He's doing with the white.
Yeah, that's pretty bright right there. Isn't it? That got really bright, but kind of fun.
Oh no. The China white looks great.
What's in there? Yeah, yeah, little accents.
Oh, for blossoms, is that what the white?
There were some areas that just didn't have enough definition,
Yeah.
and like you, it got kind of wet and I didn't do much to it. And now it's like highlighting hair or something, you know? Not that I know about highlighting hair, but. All right, I should feel that it came back. Then I'll do the shadows last. And I'm just gonna do simple ultramarine and new gamboge.
There's your shadows.
There's some shadows here. Again, sometimes they go up the stairs.
They're like spiders.
Along there. And you want to make sure the shadow lines, some are medium thick, and some are thinner, and some are really thin. Okay, coming off of this tree itself, that's pretty darn thick. And we got that. And then there's a kind of a wonderful lacy pattern underneath the trees here. So it's the shadows of these apple blossoms. Like, what? No wonder they're so crazy. Then when it hits the driveway, it drops down a little bit. Driveway drops down.
How's Ellen doing? Did she get every single apple blossom?
We'll see.
I'm working away. I'm using a bigger brush than usual and a round brush.
Okay.
So it'll be what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, change glasses so that you can see.
I have to keep doing that constantly. I use these to paint, I
Yep.
have to switch to these to look at the screen.
Okay, and I'm putting in just a few hints of tree branches coming from the left.
Uh-oh, we lost you.
Okay, send a voicemail.
Oh, is that a phone call?
Yeah, it is. I can't take a phone call while we get class, but I'll deal with it later.
That's why I have that one iPhone over all the way down at the end.
Over here?
Yeah, no one has the telephone number except for my son, and I had to kill him.
Okay, so right near the end, we put in some darks. Tighten things up. Shadows. Yeah. You can always go
Any
back.
splatters anywhere?
Ooh, are we gonna splatter? I don't think I don't think we're gonna splatter today. We did all that Chinese white. That's the
Oh, that was today's special.
that was the gimmick for today. Yeah, that's kind of a nice painting. All right, so we're all about the contrast between the irregularity of that tree and then the geometric lines of the house. You can always
Is
go.
it Chinese white or China white?
Well, there's either one. Your tube says Chinese white, China.
China white.
No, this says Chinese white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've seen it both ways.
Because it's got a lot of pigment in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
And
all
I
it
figured
is.
China might
That's all it is.
be like the white porcelain powder from ceramics class.
Right. Yeah.
50 years ago.
Hey Ned, I'm gonna take off.
Okay. Yeah. I should turn off the recording. We'll do a critique on Wednesday, and send me your stuff as you finish them. Kurt, we'll see you later.
All right, take care.
Oh, I'll do the end recording. That's all.
Are you finished your
Recording
painting?
stopped.
Okay, I stopped the recording. I haven't.
Beautiful. See you Wednesday. Bye.
All right, terrific. Thanks very much.
Mhm.
See you later, Nana.
Thanks, Ned.
All right.
Nana rhymes with banana.
Beef, banana, banana,
Oof.
banana.
Oh, thank you for letting me use this.
Ah, my pleasure. I'm having lots of fun with factory made cars. This stuff, the Grumbach, remember you gave me that bag of Grumbachers?
Yeah.
There's some serious potent stuff in
Is
there.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was there? Yesterday we were talking with the guy who did the paint, the chemist for the paint company. Oh no, that was the over Ken. We were chatting and on the sidewalk, I didn't know the guy, and talking about paint. He used to be for Paragon. He used to be working at a factory in New Jersey, mixing paint.
Okay.
And I said, wow.
Eric?
I said, I'm afraid I make disparaging comments about your job because I tell my people, don't you ever use the blue right out of the tube? That's just whatever some guy in New Jersey thought was the
Some guy working
sky.
in a factory in New Jersey. Yeah, and he has no problem with the factory part. It's just when you say New Jersey.
Right. He said he loved it. He did a great job.
Oh, could you imagine working for Pantone?
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of creativity there. They want the colors exact, don't they?
No. With Pantone, the creativity is in the marketing department.